Lesson 412, Multi-Step Multiplication Number Stories. The main focus in this lesson is for you to solve a multi-step multiplication number story. For you to be able to estimate, solve, and check the reasonableness of both the answer and the estimates to problems. And finally, I want you to be able to estimate, solve, and use those estimations to assess the reasonableness of the answers to the problems. But first, let's start with our mental math and fluency. Look at the division facts that are posed on the screen. They read 24 divided by 6 equals what? 25 divided by 5 equals what? And 18 divided by 3 equals what? If you're thinking to yourself, I really don't know division very well, well, do the reverse sign. So what times 6 equals 24? And you should know that that's 4. What times 5 equals 25? You also should know that that is 5. And finally, 3 times what is 18? And your answer should be 6. Remember, you need to continue to practice those multiplication facts every night. Multi-step stories mean that you're going to have different signs that you're going to be using and steps in order to complete a problem. The following problem reads, Mr. Swanson has $350 to order music books for the new school year. Music books cost $10 each, and they come in packages of 5. Mr. Swanson orders 6 packages. How much money will he have left after he buys the books? Well, first of all, I know from my problem that it says each book costs $10 and that they're going to come in bundles of 5. And Mr. Swanson, so what you're noticing is I just did this step. Now it says Mr. Swanson orders 6 packages. So I'm going to times that by 6 to get how much money he spent. Once I know that answer, I'm going to take the original $350 that Mr. Swanson had, and I'm going to subtract the amount of money that we know now that he spent. So we always do first what's in parentheses. 10 times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. Now I know that each bundle cost me $50. Now I have to multiply that by 6 to get the total amount that Mr. Swanson spent. So 50 times 6. Well, 5 times 6 is 30. And I have 1 0. 1 0. So how much did Mr. Swanson spend on the 6 packages? He spent $300. But the question asks, how much money will he have left after he buys the books? So we know we need to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5, take away 0 is 5. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So he will have $50 left over. Remember, when you're doing multi-step problems, make sure you realize what information they're asking and what steps you're going to need to do to solve them. Next, I want you to turn to Math Journal, page 137. I'm going to walk through problem 1 with you, and then I'm going to have you do problem 2 as an assessment check-in. So once you complete this problem, you will finish problem 2. So if you need to pause the recording to get on the same page as me now, go ahead and do so. All right, you follow along as I read the question and problem out loud. It reads, Danielle and Hector are selling raffle tickets to raise money for the school band. Danielle sells 5 tickets per day for 4 weeks straight. She then sells 4 tickets per day for 1 week. How many tickets does Hector need to sell if he wants to sell more tickets than Danielle? Well, first, we're taking the information that we have. It says 5 tickets per day. All right? So I have 5 tickets per day for 4 weeks straight. Well, first I'm going to take 5 times 7 for 1 week. And then I'm going to multiply that answer by 4 so I can come up with that answer. And the 4 was for the 4 weeks straight. Now I underline that so I know I took care of that in my number model. The next part says she then sells 4 tickets per day. So 4 tickets times 7, because there's 7 days in a week, for 1 week. So I'm going to multiply that by 1 to get that answer. Let's do this part first of our multiple step problem. So 5 times 7 is 35. Now I can complete that problem by multiplying 35 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20. I carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So 5 times 7 is 35. 35 times 4 is 140. Now my next part. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 times 1 is 28. So if I add 140 plus 28, and notice how I'm showing my work, I would really appreciate it if you showed your work also, so that way I can see if there was a step maybe that you missed if you get this wrong, or I also can see how you figured it correctly. So my answer is 168. Now for my estimate. Well, it says 5 tickets per day for 4 weeks straight. So I could take 5 tickets for 4 weeks straight, and that's about 30, and I would come up with 100. I'm sorry, I don't need a money sign there. I don't know what I was thinking. And the same here. I think I was thinking of the previous problem, is 150. And then again, 4 tickets per day for a week. Well, I could take 4 times 7, which would give me an exact number, which would be 28, which could give me an estimate of 178. So if I look down, it says, answer, more than how many tickets? Well, more than 168, because that's how many we figured out the exact amount was. Does your answer make sense? Explain. In your answer, you should put, yeah, because I rounded the number of tickets per week, 35 to 40 or 28 to 30, to make sure that my answer was more tickets than Danielle sold. So my estimate is a bit larger or higher than my real answer. And they're both close. They're approximately the same number. So I know I probably did that correctly. This is what page 137 looks like in your math journal. You are going to do number 2 by yourself. And it reads, Aaliyah buys 4 cartons of eggs each month. Each carton contains 1 dozen eggs. How many eggs does Aaliyah buy in 2 years? Some information that's going to help you here is there are 12 months, and I'm going to abbreviate as M's, in 1 year. I would do like we did above. I would do my real number model first, and then I would do my estimate. To me, that works out a little bit nicer. Pause the recording now, finish number 2, and when you're finished with that, please bring it to me so I can check it off because, again, it is an assessment check-in. When I have checked number 2 for you, both your estimate, your number model with the unknowns, your answer, and your written response for does your answer make sense? Explain. I want you to do Math Journal page 138. Again, they are more multi-step multiplication number stories, And I want you to try to work ahead and do those. When you finish with those, again, come up to see me, and I will help you if you did not understand them to set them up, but I'd like you to do the multiplying, the adding, or subtracting on your own. Next, you're going to go to Math Journal page 139, and that's what you're seeing displayed on your screen. It's asking you to draw and label ray CA and draw point R on it. Remember, down in the corner on your math box page are always some pages you can go to in your SRB, which is your student reference book, to help you if you're thinking, wow, I haven't done rays for a long time. I don't know if I remember how to draw them. We'll go to the SRB and figure it out. Same thing with number 2. They're going to ask you to write an equation to estimate 49 through 68. So remember, estimating is rounding. For number 3, you're going to round to the nearest 100,000. So my suggestion to you would be to underline the 100,000s place in all 4 of those numbers, and then draw your arrow from the number to its right that tells you, hey, you're going to leave that 100,000s place alone, meaning the same number, or you're going to increase it by 1. And every number after that is going to become a 0. And what you're seeing me do here now is I'm clicking on it to show you the math journal page that you will be working on. And these are the math boxes. And once again, write an estimate and number model for the problem below. Rosalie is collecting stickers for a scrapbook. She collected 8 stickers per day for 2 weeks and then collected 5 stickers per day for 2 weeks. How many stickers has Rosalie collected? Well, first, you're going to do the estimate. And the estimate is telling you, we're rounding 8 stickers per day. Well, I would round that to 10. Multiplied by 7, because that's how many is in 1 week. And I did that part right here. But it says to go for 2 weeks, so then I'm going to multiply that by 2. And I'm going to find out what that equals. And that shows you. And then collected 5 stickers per day for 2 weeks. I would take 5 stickers per day, again, 5 times 7, and I'd put that in parentheses. And for what period of time? 2 weeks again. So let's find out this answer. 10 times 70, we always do it in parentheses first. I'm sorry, 10 times 7 is 70. 70 times 2 is 140. 5 times 7 is 35. And 35 times 2 is 70. So when I add 140 plus 70, again, make sure to be showing your work, I realize for my estimate, my answer is going to be 210. So the real number models, well, I'd take the 8 times 7 because that's the actual number they gave you. And then I would multiply that by 2 weeks. Sorry about that. 8 times 7 is the exact number they gave me. So I'm going to multiply that by 2. And again, 5 stickers per day for 2 weeks would be 5 times 7 times 2. And if we look above, we already know that 5 times 7 is 35, times 2 is 70. But we need to figure out the real one on this side. So 8 times 7 is 56. 56 times 2, well, 2 times 6 is 12, carry a 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 112. I add 70 on that, and my answer is 182. Please finish Math Masters, page 178. That's problem 1 that I just did there. It should be in the file folder. Complete that and then bring it up to me and I'll check it over for you. Thank you.